Hi guys, MTech Guy here, and today we're going to be taking a look at whether buying a car with a service history is important or not. Now, this might sound like a bit of a no-brainer to most of you guys out there. It's like, well, of course you'd want to buy a car with some service history, but it is something I do get asked about from time to time with guys that find themselves in a situation where they've found the perfect E60 M5 in their price range. They've been had a look at the car, they've stood in front of it, it all looks pretty good, but they're a bit anxious because there's no service history with the car, or it's lacking slightly in paperwork. So although they want to buy the car, it's a bit of a guessing game on what kind of history it's had. Now, back when I was living in England, this was always an advantageous selling point when a car was being sold with a full service history, especially a full dealer service history. Whenever I was looking to buy a car, more often than not, a car would have some sort of collection of receipts with it which outlined previous work carried out on the car. And to be honest, I can't remember ever buying a car that didn't have some sort of service documentation with it in the UK. And then it became evident over time that the majority of cars here were Japanese imports, and more often than not, these cars come into the country with no service history papers. Most of the cars coming from Japanese auctions and being brought into the country by local car dealers. Even if the odd car did arrive with some form of service history, it's unlikely the average Westerner here would be able to read it anyhow. And as well as the huge amount of Japanese imports, most of the average cars here don't see much in the way of servicing, mainly due to the local parts stores having a massive markup on prices. More often than not, it's cheaper for me to buy parts from the main dealer than the local auto parts store. For instance, as I've mentioned in a previous video, I bought a cabin air filter for my E53 M5 costing $100 from the main dealer for the genuine part. Prices for a Chinese aftermarket one from the local auto parts stores was $300. So yeah, pretty messed up economy here. It just seems to be a thing here. No one seems to really care about the service history. So after some time here, of course, being a car enthusiast, I've bought a number of cars over the years, and the service history eventually ended up not being any type of concern anymore. I wouldn't even think about it. So I ended up getting to the stage of buying cars on face value. You know, what you're staring at right in front of you, what you see is what you get. And you know what? If you know what you're looking at and you know what to look for, a missing service history isn't a big deal. And I know because I've been buying cars here over the last 12 years without any service history out of necessity. So if you found the perfect E60 M5 out there, but it's lacking in service history and you're feeling a little bit anxious that it might have a murky history, either give it a good inspection yourself or take it to a garage that specialises in this type of car, that knows what they're looking at, and they'll be able to go through the car, give you a pre-service inspection, and that'll give you a good idea of what you're looking at, what you're getting yourself in for. Alright guys, so there we have it. That's my experience and opinion on a car coming with a service history or not. If you found the video interesting or useful, don't forget to give it a like, and make sure you go and check out the rest of my YouTube channel for more BMW E60 M5 content. I'm MTech Guy. Thanks a lot for watching.